Okay, so now now that you've got your analytics, let's move on to the next step. And what you want to set up next is Google Search Console. And I want to really emphasize on this. A lot of websites avoid using Google Search Console. I find this as one of the biggest mistakes you can ever make when you're setting up websites. Google Search Console, for me, sometimes after the site has aged after some time, can be more or as important as Search Analytics. So it is important to set it up in the beginning so you've got tracking of your site from the very first day when you started it out. So why do we need it? You track more data. There's more data to do with analytics and with Search Console, just as analytics. So analytics has just got the traffic data. Search Console can give you data, for example, like which of your keywords are actually ranking, where they're ranking. So that is important information that you will need. And when both analytics and Search Console are set up together, you get a big understanding of the kind of environment you're in when you're doing stuff on your website. So another thing is also about security issues. If Google will send you information through Search Console. If there's something wrong, your website has been hacked, or you have like bad links coming to your website, Search Console will be able to tell you that information so that you can actually correct these issues before they become too much. Okay, so what do you need? You just need your Gmail account, which you already have. You already have set up your analytics, and in this case, we actually don't need insert header footer at all. So I think I have to delete that. So you won't need that. So you just need your Gmail account, your Google Analytics, and in some cases, your access to your cPanel. Okay, there are times I do prefer sometimes just to have Search Console on its own completely. So you might find that I want to verify my account using cPanel. Okay, so this is access to cPanel. So if you already have that, since you already have a website, you have access to your cPanel. So let's move on and set up this thing. It's quite fast. So and luckily for us, you're using a new account, so we'll just be following stuff as much as where we left off the last analytics class. Now, before I move on, I need to mention something that I forgot to mention. We are trying as much as possible to put all this data in a spreadsheet. This is especially important if you're planning to do SEO for the client or for yourself, right? Because we are now getting into a situation where you're having so much data, you're not going to be able to remember all this stuff. So I think the last time I left up a situation where I have my analytics data tracking ID added to my spreadsheet, wherever it is that you've saved your spreadsheet. Please add this stuff to your tracking ID. You will need this. I promise you, you will need this as we move on to the next stage. So don't forget. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm just going to go to my analytics account, and as you remember, if I want to go to the administration section of my site, I'll just go to admin. I'm looking for that tracking code that you talked about. So this is the account, and this is a property, in which case it is this particular website, and I'll click on tracking info to get the tracking code. So instead of now copying this whole tag, what I want to do is just copy this tracking ID right there. So this is unique. It is only going to be used on that one website, only worldwide. So just keep it. Have that and save it in your spreadsheet. There will be some other stuff you'll be doing for SEO, and you'll need this particular area. I mean, you'll need this later. Okay, so let me save that. Okay, so now that I've done that, I can now move on to my Search Console. So please, I'm going to ask you again, I'm going to remind you again, create a spreadsheet where you save all the data that you've got on your website. Those who are moving on with the SEO class, the online property authority course, you'll see why we need this particular spreadsheet. You will need it going forward to do your work. Okay, so now let's move on and set up my search console. So what I need to do is just go to Google and just search for Search Console. So for the oldies like me, we used to call this Google, I can't remember, Google Webmaster Tools. Exactly, that's the word for it. So I go to Search Console. You just need to click on searchconsole.com. I mean search.google.com. And then what I want you to do is just add the URL of your website right there. And with HTTPS or without, please make sure you get the right one. If you change your website from HTTP, or that is without SSL, to with SSL, you may have to make sure that you come back into Search Console and add the new URL, which is with HTTPS. So in our case, our site is HTTPS. In fact, I've forgotten the name of the website, so I just need to copy that and paste it. So what I'll do next is it will just check if it's verified, and it will give me options on how to verify them. Okay, now because I already set up analytics and I've already opened analytics in another tab, it will automatically verify my account. Okay, now if you don't have analytics, you'll be forced to download a HTML file and then upload it to your cPanel. That's too much work. So that's why you normally want to start with analytics and then go to Search Console. So now that it's verified, we are now ready to get to work. So what I have now is my Search Console, and like I said, this is a very important part of internet marketing. Now, I'm going to come in next in the next video, and I'm going to ensure that my analytics account and my Search Console get the same data. Okay, so we'll be as in something like conjoining. Let me use the word conjoining the analytics account and the Search Console. Again, do not forget to add this particular part of the process. So there are two parts that we are going to add in this Search Console when you're coming in next. We're going to connect the analytics account together with the Search Console account. And then after that, you're going to add the sitemaps to your website. These two parts are absolutely important for you to do proper SEO for your website. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to stop this video now. Before I do that, I need to remind you of one thing. Actually, two things on this issue. So before I move on and stop this video, there's one last issue. And this has something to do with people who are going to be setting up these accounts for your clients. You might not have access to your client accounts. Like you can see here, I've got, I'm inside this particular website. I'm actually, since I'm the one who set up the Gmail, I've got access to the client account. But you as a provider of the service or the SEO or just somebody who wants to help somebody else, you want to give access to somebody else to your account. So one way to do this is if I go to analytics, right, and click on admin again. I'm going to be clicking on admin because I know a lot of you don't know how to use this. So what I'm going to do here is that, for example, this is my client's account, and I'm going to give all these logins and everything. I'm going to give them to the client. I don't keep clients' data at all. It's too much of a headache. So I prefer, even if I've set up the account, I'll still give all that data back to the client. Okay? And I hope that you also do that. It's actually ethical. I know of some people who just don't give back the data to the client. I give it back to the client. So what I normally want to do, I never want to log in as a client. I want to log in with my own account. So what I'll do is that I'll come into this area here called account user management, okay, and add that. And then what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to add my own email address in here, so that wherever I am on the internet, I'm able to come in here and log in using my own Search Console or analytics account. So I do not want to log in using the client. I want to log in with my own. So this, you can also use this if you want to give it, if you want to give an SEO company access to your site, to your analytics without them taking control over your analytics account. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is just add my address, email, and since I'll be doing a lot of this stuff, so mine will be I'll be managing the users. So you can give any permissions that you want. If you want a guy to edit it or collaborate or just read and analyze, you can do that. So, but because I am going to be managing this, so I'm going to add all this and allow that as my for me to have access. So from now onwards, I don't need to log in as a client with this client's Gmail. I'll actually never use it again. And you also can give access to whoever, if it's the team member or whoever. You do not have to give them access to your Gmail. All right. The same thing can also be done for your Search Console. Or again, don't forget this step. This is a serious step because people lose this step. Then after about 3 months, you give this work to an SEO and it's totally confused, doesn't know where things are. And then you yourself have forgotten what the passwords are. You take like a whole week trying to talk to each other on email or phone just to get access to this information, and you need this information after about 3 months of a site. So the same thing I'm going to do here is I'm also going to set up the same thing on Search Console. So I'll click on settings, and the verified owner which is a client's name here. So what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to add a new I need to add a new user. Where are the new users? Settings, users, there you go. So I'll add a new user, and that is going to be me in this particular video. It can be anybody that you trust, your team members, your company, your bosses, whoever, and you just give them access as full. Now, for those who will be using software later in SEO stuff, you'll also need to do this for your SEO software, so that all their software gets access to your Search Console. So remember that once you set up analytics and you set up Search Console, give access to somebody else. You might actually lose your account, right? You might forget the password. You might something can happen, and then you forget. You actually lose complete access to this stuff. So I always have somebody else having access to to the account. So that for analytics, you just need to go to account user management. For Search Console, you just need to go to settings and then look for users and add as many users as you want. Okay. Now, because we still have time, and what I'm going to do next is I'm going to connect analytics and Search Console. I won't have the next videos. This is live. Unfortunately, when you're doing things live, well, things happen. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to connect analytics to Search Console. So to do that, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to back to my analytics account. Please open these things up on your browsers at the same time. So what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to look for linking. Okay. I need to get, as you can see here, I can link this to Google Ads. I can also link it to AdSense. Okay. And this is going to be important because later we want to add in, what's it called? We want to add in, later we want to add Google Tag Manager. So what I've done here is that I've gone to admin and then clicked on all products. I want to, you link to AdSense once you get accepted to AdSense. When you're doing Google Ads, you want to also come back here to analytics and connect it to analytics. If you've got BigQuery, for all those guys who will be doing a lot of data mining on websites, it's BigQuery, and you want to give good reports to your clients. I think all these are Google products, and you want them to be linked. So what I want to do today is link Search Console to Google Analytics, and I'll just click on that and add my website. Okay, so I'll be taken to the next page, and it will tell me all this: enable Google Search Console data in analytics, and I'll click on that and then save. Okay, and you're done. So now, from now onwards, any data that Search Console gets will also come to your Google Analytics. So I'll give you an example of what it looks like when you come to get your data on your site. There's this area here called acquisition. Okay, and one of the areas that you'll want to find out where traffic is coming from, you can see Google Ads, social media campaigns from whatever system that you've got. Then you've got Search Console here, and what will happen here is that Google will tell you all the pages that are ranking and if they are getting any traffic and it will get all that data from Search Console. So you just need to be opening up Google Analytics. All right. So that's it for now. And in the next session, we'll go again, dig deeper into Search Console. Like I told you, I believe Search Console to me is just as important and sometimes even more important than analytics, especially when it comes to things like sitemaps. So we'll do that in the next lesson, and have a good day. So go set up your analytics and your Google Search Console, and then and connect your analytics to your Search Console. All right, and have a good day.